there, Lanterns, the Comics Kid 2099 here to talk about the final episode of Green Lantern the Animated Series, titled Dark Matter. If you haven't seen the episode, then what are you doing here? Go watch it, because I'm going to spoil stuff in this plot synopsis before I get into the review itself. As the Green Lantern Corps prepares to stop Aya from uncreating all organic life at the beginning of the universe, Hal discovers that Aya still has some good in her, because she has only destroyed star systems that were uninhabited. Hal and Razor are able to bring Aya back to her old non-evil self, but the Manhunters are now no longer under Aya's control. She does some computer bull science to stop the Manhunters, but it also destroys herself. The series ends with Razor going out into the universe because he believes Aya is still out there somewhere, and then a Blue Lantern ring shows up and zooms off, presumably to find its way onto Razor's hand. So for several episodes, this series has been dancing around Hal and friends being forced to make the hard decision and destroy Aya because she is a threat to the entire universe. Some of that makes sense. Razor is in love with Aya, and his denial of this love is what set her on the path to Crazy Town. So he doesn't want her to be punished for his own actions, and also he doesn't want to be without her. But then we had Hal saying that he became crazy when he had the Orange Lantern battery, and because they gave him another chance, they should also give Aya another chance. And I've called this out for being stupid at least twice, so third time's a charm. Hal did not kill anyone. Aya attempted to murder the Science Guardian who created her, even if it didn't quite stick. She sent Manhunters to shoot very deadly-looking laser beams at the Green Lantern Corps in this very episode. She caused the death of the Star Sapphire Queen's niece, Gaiatea, and this series has been very keen on forgetting that ever happened, as we see in this episode. Oh, all these star systems that Aya destroyed, nobody lived on any of those worlds, so she's secretly still a good guy, and nobody cares about the Star Sapphire Princess. Aya only brought the bloodthirsty warlord onto their world. She didn't actually pull the trigger. It's nonsense if we're being honest, and I can see where the people who made the series were wanting to go. I've compared Aya's turn to the dark side to Angel from Buffy Season 2 before, and the comparison is still very appropriate. Buffy and friends at first didn't want to believe that Angel could be so cruel. Then they did believe, but they were still kind of pulling their punches. Then they found a possible way to return him to his broody, less murdery self, and it worked, but Buffy still had to kill Angel. Here, Aya returns to her previous non-evil self, but the Manhunters still need to be stopped, and Aya figures the most efficient way to do that is to delete all trace of her programming, which will take out the Manhunters. I guess this is why the series felt it needed to have Aya take in the Manhunters when she first turned to the dark side. I've been a little perplexed about that for several episodes, as there have been episodes where we see Aya being evil, but no Manhunters in sight, and then there have been instances of Aya being so powerful that she clearly doesn't need the Manhunters helping her. But I see now the reason is so that we can contrive a reason for Aya to sacrifice herself in the series finale. And you might ask, how else would you end this series? Hal is already on pretty thin ice with the Guardians after everything that he's done in the series, so he can't walk out there and tell everyone Aya's feeling all better now, and she's very, very sorry for trying to unmake all life in the universe. There is no way the Guardians, or even most of the Corps, are going to let Aya walk away from this. So from a narrative point of view, she kinda has to die. Also, we want to twist that dagger in the gut of the people who ship her and Razor together as a couple. She feels the boohoos when she accidentally blasts Razor, then she reverts back to her old self. Yay, they can be together. Nope, she dies. Wahaha. So I can see the mechanics of why all of this has to happen, but it does nothing for me on an emotional level. Partly because we've already seen Aya die once, and she came back pretty easily, so I have no reason to believe that she's actually dead here, and neither does Razor, as we see at the very end of this episode. But if she is alive, then that means that some of the Manhunters might be alive also, so really, she should never ever come back. I know this series ended, but seriously, she should never ever come back, or the universe is in danger. But also, there have been so many moments since Aya turned to the dark side that have made me want to pull my hair out that I'm not crying at her noble sacrifice like this series wants me to. Aya did some bad stuff, and the series pulling the "there was nobody in those star systems" is not going to make me forget that. Oh, and speaking of moments that made me want to pull my hair out, Hal has this sneaky idea that Razor needs to come in and stab Aya in the back. He specifically asks for Razor. He goes in, he tries to stab her, but then his hatred makes the stabby thing go away. Then Aya almost murders Razor, and then, as we know, she feels sad. Wah. But here's the thing. Razor could have actually died. Hal had no way of knowing that Aya wouldn't kill Razor right then and there. It seems Hal either developed the ability to see into the future and know that Razor would not die, or he was willing to sacrifice his friend to get through to Aya. Either option is kinda messed up. Overall, I was not feeling this episode. To be honest, I wasn't feeling most of the Dark Aya stuff this half of the season. I remember liking it a lot more when I watched through the series the first time, but trying to analyze a single episode at a time and thinking critically and all that nonsense, well, it made me like this a whole lot less, which is a shame because I think the idea of Aya turning evil and the Lanterns having to stop her is great. It's just that the execution was fumbled at almost every step of the way, so that I didn't like anything about this after it actually happened. But maybe you guys liked it more than I did. I hope you did. And I hope you liked my review of the episode. If you did, be sure to throw some likes, shares, and subscribes in there. And be sure to come back next week for a non-animated review video. And next Saturday, I'll be doing something a little different, so be sure to tune in for that as well. Until then, have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.